Akeem, why do you have 3 phones?
Yeah, that don't look good for you.
Well, actually, I have 4, but I've only got 2 on me now.
But why?
Why?
Yeah.
Because...
One for the side chick?
No, I don't actually have any for that. I don't, honestly.
Oh, so you don't have a phone for your side chick, but there is a
No,
side
I
chick.
don't.
We can't start this now.
Yeah, exactly.
We're toxic people. You shouldn't be hanging around.
Exactly. So no, honestly, I've just got it for. I've just accumulated phones through time. To be honest, so my other phone is because it was the one before I upgraded this one, and I just kept it. That one was because when I got investment into the Wild Peanut, they were just giving everyone. Everyone who's basically they've invested in, they just said we'll get you a BlackBerry because they used to communicate on BBM.
Yeah.
Can I just say?
Just to say the reason why that's still alive, BlackBerries, and many people still use it. And you'll realise if you go Canary Wharf, you'll realise a lot of traders still have it. Is because it's still the best phone for encryption. Which means the hardest thing to break down to break into.
Really?
So
and that's
security.
why it's about security. That's why BBM, people will have the most private conversations still on BBM rather than WhatsApp, everything else, because you could still, it's the hardest to breach. It's the hardest to breach and the hardest to hack. That's another reason why people use it as well.
I do live in daily fear of my WhatsApp group.
But one day being screenshotted and
the
put on
Woolworths one.
Woolworths 96.
Can I say that? I've never seen a square phone. That is very square, isn't it?
BlackBerry seems to be coming up in the game again.
I quite like this.
I quite like it. I'm used to an iPhone. Do you know what?
Yeah, I could sell it below retail value for 700 quid.
Is that how much it costs?
For you today, huh?
I don't want to buy it.
No, you don't. Yeah. Basically, I'd like to know what people think about that. I'm undecided at the moment, but there's something about it that I find mildly appealing.
Does look classy.
Yeah.
Put
it to your ear. And see what that looks like. Go on.
I don't know if I could hold it in that hand. I'm going to do this now. I've got a pinky going on.
No, you look like you're doing business. You look like you're doing business.
Yeah.
I want a new flavour of peanut butter on the shelves by tonight. Otherwise, And
then you got to put it down and press the button like that. That's it.
Fuck you. There you go.
Akeem.
Aggressive.
CheekySport Akeem.
Yeah.
If people don't know what CheekySport is, and it'd be mental if they don't.
We started?
Yeah,
started ages ago.
Yeah. We've got the side chick stuff. We've got everything. It's all going out.
You bloody.
We've also bust your encryption for your BBM, and that's going to be in the comments.
Listen, forget all about that. You didn't hear any of that, alright? You didn't hear any of it.
Tell us about CheekySport then. What's all that about?
What's CheekySport about? Yeah. Bloody heck. Big question. Alright, well, look. I'll explain. So what CheekySport is, okay, there's 4 of us involved. 3 of us started it probably about 3 years ago now. 2 whole seasons ago. And it really actually came from the whole concept of you trying to nick some.
No, I'm just noticing that you've got not only got 3 phones, you've
got
3 drinks.
Well, that's because Flav bought me as well.
He's got a coffee, he's got a tea. It's water, and then he's got a shot of fucking Patron. I'm assuming.
And why is my water so cold?
Just neck your Patron first.
Why is my water so cold?
Would you want tepid water?
I wanted water lukewarm, mate.
Alright.
Seriously, we're gonna need
super
more,
cold.
We need more desk. Just for his.
Shall I line them up like this? Alright, no. But look, so CheekySport, at the beginning, obviously, what we wanted to really do is bring a debate feel and really bring an idea that instead of just watching pundits talk about football teams and football players every single day and breaking down the same old blah blah analysis, that we can actually not only talk to players directly, but we can actually talk amongst ourselves about how an honest and or not honest, so to speak, but a general fan on the street would actually feel about a certain topic. And that's how it started. And obviously it went on to the fact that we started match reactions, which means we started talking to fans on the day.
Yep.
And just being cheeky.
And being cheeky, really, because we asked the questions that most people wouldn't want to ask. So that was before we even started talking to players. We started asking fans the questions that you want to think, you think in your head, but you're always kind of not scared to say, but you never really ask. Like simple, direct questions that it began with, like, do you think your team's crap? Yeah. You know, do you think, and you know, when they respond, say, you don't believe that. And almost not, I'm not saying to argue with them to create, you know, all of our content was genuine, and that we wanted an honest reaction. That's all we wanted.
Yeah.
We didn't try to force reaction. We just wanted an honest reaction. And of course, we've met every type of fan in the world, every type of player in the world as well, and even every type of manager now in the last couple of years. And it's so surreal because you look at these players as idols growing up and these teams as idols, and when you meet them face to face, it's never the same. And obviously, don't get me wrong, some of them are still my idols and they will always remain my idols.
Like
but
who?
Harry Kane.
Not Harry Kane. No one from Tottenham, because Tottenham hasn't had any real genuine world class players in the last 20 years besides Bale.
David Wagner?
No, definitely not. Is that the guy from Britain's Got Talent?
Wait, that is
that is him, isn't it?
No.
That is
No, it's different.
I know, I'm taking a mick.
Yeah, it's not nice though, Akeem.
I know.
They're a Premier League team now, show respect.
We're big
bottom of the pile, mate. You may as well start with Z. You're already going to be bottom.
Alright, actually, we were saying we didn't do it, did we?
Yeah.
Where's the Prem Predictor board?
Oh.
We were going to do that.
Where do you think you're going to finish? 7th or 8th?
No, where do you think we're going to finish?
I'll be honest. I like Huddersfield. I like Huddersfield because
I don't care if you like.
No, listen. I like.
Get your hands off me.
Look, I like Huddersfield because they remind me of Bournemouth, where they just think. I have a feeling they're just going to have a effort mentality when they get to the Premier League and just go for it. Rather than what Tottenham done, pissing around for 20 years.
No one likes that.
Mid-table, going for draws against half-wit teams. They're actually
men behind the ball.
Yeah, men behind the ball.
Tottenham.
Dropping the ball, Carroll on the halfway line when we chipped you from halfway. But anyway, that's another story. But yeah, generally speaking, yeah.
Why are you ganging up on him? I'm trying with me.
I've been learning by imitating other Premier League fans. That's what I'm doing.
Generally speaking, look, on a serious note, Huddersfield, I hope they do well, but I think they're going to finish just above the relegation zone, and it'll be because they're attacking enough to score enough goals to get them out of trouble. As long as you can score goals in the Premier League, you've got a chance.
I think
you create chances.
Yeah, it's difficult to say now. We need to see what happens in this next 6 weeks.
Have you signed him?
You're not going to sign.
We signed a player. We signed. Don't tell us what we're going to do.
We're signing players from like Burton Albion or whatever. But is it even called Burton Albion? What are they called? All we know is Burton and they.
This is not going to go down well with our very passionate Huddersfield audience.
Or what they're going to do is buy a player from like Levante, who they call a wonder kid, who really is crap. That's what they're going to do.
This is what you didn't want, wasn't it?
This is what I didn't want. When you said, this is why I said I'm
not happy.
I'm off.
Yeah, you criticised my Blackberries, so here we go.
Yeah,
no, I'm joking.
We got a question in from Nikal Aramugum.
Just to say, sorry, Flav, before we jump onto that as well. So we're as well as CheekySport, Akeem does a hell of a lot more.
Yeah, of course.
Entrepreneur. You were Dragon's Den, weren't you?
Yeah.
On the Dragon's Den. What happened as a result on that? Just give us a very short...
a short response.
You won, basically. Akeem won the Dragon's Den.
Well, no, I didn't. I didn't win on Dragon's Den, so to speak.
What did they say?
But turn him down.
No, I didn't.
What happened, Akeem?
What they told me is to do one. They told me to 1, 2, 1, do one. But
what's your idea? What was it?
My idea was peanut butter. At the time, the truth is that this is the truth as well. This is unreleased truth. No, but
can we say
the truth is unreleased? No, but look, on a serious note, I went onto the show. I knew my idea was half baked. Yeah. But I also knew that I can get 4.5 million people to watch it and ride off the back of free exposure. That's the truth.
Yeah.
So I went on, and this is, like I said, this is the honest truth. I don't hardly tell anyone this. I went on. The whole day probably lasted about 10 hours. At the time, I got crushed by the Dragons in the sense that I was on there for, I think at that time was the 9th longest time in history. Yeah. 2.5 hours pitching. At one point, I was just talking to Peter Jones for half an hour, just me and him. And
most people get
all their reasons, all their reasons for actually not investing was quite flaccid. It's like a flaccid, you know what I'm gonna say, yeah. And it was no real reason, but it was the feeling of rejection wasn't a worry at the time. It was I wonder how BBC is going to chop this up to make me look like a twat, a clown. So then I just wrote off the back of it. The funny thing is that I wish it was released earlier because it took 6 months to be released. The day after it got released, I got 3 offers from 3 other investors. Okay, and that's what spiraled the beginning. That was even before I launched. So So really, it was a benefit. It was a blessing in disguise. And again, this is not me saying it in any bad way, but everyone I know who's got investment that year from Dragon's Den, as well as the year after, even barring one person, is no longer in business. Right. Ironically, the person who was the people who are on the same episode as me, the other businesses that all got investment, and we're talking 200,000, 300,000, they're all out of business.
And a dragon to
they're all out of business. We're going to touch on that, but it's a long story. But positive is we love it.
You'll be able to hear on Matt World.
Exactly. So we're going to put the business over there, because after this we're going to do some stuff on Matt World, which is Ask Matt
Shit. Annotations.
Yeah. And Akeem's going to talk about some of that stuff as well, as we're going to answer some of the questions that we've got. It is fascinating. But ultimately, there's a lot going on in your life other than just football, which is a beautiful thing.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
And that's why maybe you need so many phones, and including a square one.
Yeah, so go over to Matt World and check out that conversation with Akeem. It is fascinating. I've heard the peanut butter story before, and it's just fascinating. Adam. Link in description, absolutely. We've got a question from Nikal Arumugum. I think that's right.
That's quite a good one.
Yeah. Are players less guarded when you interview them because of your fan channel? Do they know about Cheeky Sport? How do they react to your line of questioning?
I'll be honest. When we first started, they were very hostile, because they were like, "Who are these guys?" Yeah. Because we're the only ones who were trying to talk to them.
Because everyone's there, aren't they?
Everyone's like their picture, but because we're trying to talk to them,
and then there's these Larry guys going, "Oi,
100%," and you can't win, because a lot of the time we were on winter's nights in the cold with half-baked phones, because back then it was like iPhone 5, whatever. Yeah. So you had to use a real camera. Yeah. And then when you stick a camera in a footballer's face, the first thing they think is, "You're a journalist. I don't want to talk to you, and I can't talk to you even if I wanted to." So that was the hardest part. But now, actually, funny enough, it's the complete opposite. Lingard, Harry Kane, even they all know us. So when they see us, they're like, they're actually more receptive to talk. And that was because the first time we saw Harry Kane, instead of asking him a serious question, we said, "What do you eat for dinner? Beans and chips, or egg and bacon?" It's the most random question.
What do you eat for dinner?
Obviously, footballers are media trained, and they're trained to straight back difficult questions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it must be refreshing. So, what are you having? Beans and chips for dinner? And they'd be like, shepherd's pie, actually. But,
I mean? That's it. And it's simply because no one else has asked him that question, apart from their missus, probably. That's it. Apart from that, no one else has asked that question. So we just want to break down the barriers that, everyone knows the core stats. There's enough brilliant sites to give those statistics. There's enough brilliant TV shows to give analysis on how many yards this player's ran. But no one's broken down the player just as a normal person. Yeah. Just understanding, because these guys are heroes to a lot of people. We want to just know what you eat. Yeah. We want to know what you drink, mate. Yeah. That's it.
I love that.
There was another question here, but maybe you said that for Matt. Well, I'm not telling you how to run your channel, Matt. You do what you want. But it's an interesting about the first.
I like his picture.
Your first job. Yeah, it's cool, isn't it?
It looks like the guy from Doug.
And getting paid. So that's more business stuff. But so you're obviously a big Man United fan. Yeah. Martial come out today and went, rumours of him leaving are false. How do you feel about
that? Martial's my favourite Man United player.
Is he?
He
started 18 games last year.
He's more important to Manchester United long term as any player besides Rashford. To be honest, I prefer Martial to Rashford, because Martial, and again, look, this isn't me. Every time I say this to people think, "Oh, you're a typical... You're a Man United fan who talks over the top too much." But this guy is good enough to be the next Henry. I promise you. And I'm not saying it will happen at Man United.
How old is he still?
He's 21, isn't he? He's 21. The way he plays, and that's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to say he plays anywhere near as good as Henry in his prime. But Henry at 21, compare him, watch the videos of Henry at 21 to Martial when he's 21. He's so similar. And there's no one, but apart from Mbappe doesn't even play like them, but he's the only player who plays like a carbon copy of him. You could tell he's been watching Henry videos growing up. But long story short, I'll be gutted if he leaves, and there isn't a player who I would want in the world to replace Martial. He's the one player besides Rashford that I would physically be upset if he leaves. Everyone else, apart from De Gea, they can go.
Can you answer this then, just on that? Because I always find it, as a fan of a small club, and Adam will identify with this.
Big club, you're in the Premier League, mate.
Well, but for my whole life as a fan of a small club, when you get heroes are kind of hard to come by. You're not just buying loads and loads of players. Like look at the players you've had over the years. So when Marcus Stewart leaves or Andy Booth leaves, that was really heart-wrenching for me. Who have been the ones that, as throughout your life, that have hurt you when they've gone?
I think it depends on that's two different questions really. It depends on circumstance. If they left at the wrong time, as in or if did they leave? Did they leave when people? Come on,
drinking
mate.
Some of your drinks.
Yeah,
you're the only guy who
I need a selection.
Table.
but yeah, it's two different things. But look, some of the players that I've missed the most. I didn't want Van Nistelrooy to leave. Van Nistelrooy was one of my favourite players. Rooney will upset me when he leaves.
Really?
And I think players like Andy Cole, I think a lot of our players left a season too early. Beckham, same. We left, obviously Ronaldo had to move on, but we seem to lose a lot of our players a year before they get really, really good, or they get even better, or they are still at the same level. We don't sell them once they've kind of lost it. And that's what I feel that Man United needs to, improve upon. Man City is a lot better at that. They seem to sell players once they've lost it and they're on the down. And I think we need to keep our better players.
Do they get value then, or are they?
But I think
because that's the thing. If you ship them out,
I'll be honest. I think Man United. Look, again, I'm not trying to stake on any other club, but Man United is a club that doesn't need to worry about penny pinching as much. If we sell, and don't get me wrong, I'm not contradicting myself, but the likes of Rooney should go now, yeah? But whether or not we don't need to worry about, are we going to get 30 mil for Rooney this year or 20 mil next year? Who cares? It's 10 million. To Man United, that isn't much, yeah? For a player who can influence the dressing room and be the difference between win, lose or draw, and a difference between winning 2 trophies or 3, or even 1, So I think what we need is character in the team. And as you can probably tell by a lot of the players that I'm saying, I care about players with character. Yeah, I don't really care about the ability so much. I don't care about all the tricks. I hate players like Lamella. Yeah, I hate players like I'm not just having to go at Tottenham. No. The reason I say that, maybe I'm not trying to say it in a bad way. Like I hate players. I hate trick players. I hate players who
show ponies.
I hate players like that. Okay. I care about players who have heart, and that's why I hate when people disrespect Rooney, because people can't see that he is the heart of Manchester United. He's one of the only people who he's probably one of the most consistent players of pure raw aggression in the Premier League in history. And what I mean raw aggression, he's someone that when you watch the match, because let's be honest,
why is that not a category?
Let me explain. Let me just explain it in a sentence so it's simpler. Yeah? When you watch your team and your team gets battered, it's happened to everyone. Yeah. The thing that annoys people more than anything,
when they don't try,
is when they don't try. The thing that annoyed me, even though I hate Arsenal, the thing that annoyed me about Arsenal when they were going for a bad run, they looked like they didn't care. Besides Sanchez, they looked like, it doesn't matter.
That was a weird.
And that's what I can't stand. I can't stand players that don't have heart. And I think that's what Man United need to, and Pogba needs to realise that. He realised the club hates players that look like they don't care. And that's why he started to step it up. And I think we need more players who look like they care and maybe are more of a 7 out of 10 or 8 out of 10 on quality, but they're a 9 or 10 out of 10 on aggression and heart. That's what we need.
I'll tell you a player who was 10 out of 10 on quality, but probably 2 out of 10 on heart. I was gutted when he left for Man United, was Berbatov. Berbatov left for you.
Quality, yeah.
He was amazing. And you know what we got in return? 30 million, right, great. And Fraser Campbell.
Didn't you buy Pavlyuchenko? Was
Pavlyuchenko followed shortly after.
Pavlyuchenko was very disappointing, wasn't he?
He's like a love or hate him. I loved him. He was average, but
yeah, but it was. I felt though in that kind of era for Tottenham, and this might not be entirely correct, but from my perspective, how I perceived it, that you'd kind of buy almost 1 or 2 figures, and there was just a lot of hope invested in them, and a lot of the love was because you were really pulling for them rather than that they earned it. Because I wanted him to do well, but he just didn't look. He just looked disappointing. Like Rebrov Who was Rebrov playing up front with? Is it Alan? What's the guy called? The Swedish guy?
Nilsson. Everson.
Stefan Everson. He had a bit about it. I quite liked him.
Yeah, he played with Everson. He played with a very old Teddy Sheringham as well. Right. Rebrov was pony. Oh, he was terrible.
He wasn't bad for his country though. But yeah, for
Rebrov, we came because he played up front with Shevchenko at Dynamo Kiev.
That's right.
And we bought Rebrov, and Shevchenko went to AC Milan.
That's right.
And
you wish the
rest is history. It would just show, you play against a great player.
But mate, you had at one point about 7 years ago. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I might be. You had Bale, Modric, Defoe, Keane, all in the same team.
Van der Vaart as well. Yeah, it's. Since last season, it was our best side I've ever seen at Tottenham. That side in 2010 under Redknapp. Yeah. Last season we were a couple of steps above that. Not individually. Bale, we haven't got a player as good as Bale, but as a unit under Pochettino.
Definitely, got an excellent defence.
Aubaumeyang. He's going to China apparently. £80 million in the prime of his career.
How old is he?
He's 28, isn't he?
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, so he's a little bit up. That's crazy though, right?
He's going to be earning half.
But that's not. Is that really happening though?
It seems that that's happening.
Yeah. Yeah, Ad can confirm it.
He's on confirmation.
He's on BBM to China.
So that's why you use BBM people.
Guys, just help me out. Is this one definitely happening?
£80 million is a fair price to pay, so they're not overpaying in that instance. But £500,000 a week.
Question, Flav.
Yes.
Because I still don't think he should go for that. Would you leave Broad Street for £500,000 a week?
Yes.
Really?
What, you would leave Ball Street for £500,000? It's your company.
No, I would not.
Of course, £500,000
unfinished business.
No, mate.
You would leave.
No,
but do you know what's funny?
He would be set up for life. You would never have to worry about it.
Yeah,
I was just going to be set up.
I'd come back in a month.
But that's the thing. I think it's one of those things in football that we assume things, and that's what makes people angry when they hear stories like this. We assume footballers care about the passion or care about the quality they play for. Some footballers do, but you got to realise some footballers are doing this for a job. They just think, I'm pretty good at football and I'm getting paid a lot of money for it. Yeah. They don't care about legacy. Some players care about legacy. A lot of people don't.
That's rare.
That's what we need to get.
You're right.
And we don't. For some reason, as fans, we get angry where if they don't care about legacy, we're like, you should care about legacy.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
They want to care about money.
They're employees. I'm way past that. I want my players.
Oh, that's a bit random.
What's that one?
What was that?
It's an alarm.
It's an alarm.
It's
quite an aggressive, it's shocking alarm.
Why have I got an alarm at 3:30?
I was gonna be like, oh shit, gotta go.
Just turn it off.
Expecting a player to show any kind of the same kind of loyalty as a fan is kind of naive. You want it to happen, you want it to be true, but it's just not.
No.
Like you talked about Aaron Moy doing everything.
But still, like and you're right, it does come down to the individual, but. I personally, just if I was playing, you'd want to win things. You'd want to play and test yourself at that highest level. And I just kind of feel that
but
at what point? There's got to be a point where the money is for the extra couple $100,000 a week. You just think, well, that's probably there for me in a year time, or 2 years time. I actually now could just go and get and net out a bit less money, but actually just have the memories.
But I think the thing is though is you can also create legacy in different ways. Like look what Bradley Wright Phillips has done. Bradley Wright Phillips has gone to the MLS. Okay, it's a bit of a joke of a league in comparison, but he's done well. He's done so well. He's a record goal scorer of all time now of MLS, and not that that's any way comparable to the Premier League, etc. But he can retire now, saying I made a lot of money, and instead of dancing around with clubs where I would have been struggling for years. I've lived a good life.
League One,
I've lived a good life, and plus I've got record.
Yeah.
So it could work both ways.
No, it could, and maybe the fan base that you can pick up from being in China,
100%.
And the social media following that you get in those areas. Maybe he's set up for life, and maybe he wants to be, maybe he wants to set up a peanut butter type scenario. But maybe he
might want to.
So maybe you're right. We don't understand his long term goals and therefore the steps that he's taken in order to in order to reach.
China isn't the graveyard that everyone else thought it would, because one Paulinho looks like he's joining Barcelona.
Can't be. Mate,
having gone to China.
So from Tottenham to China for £17 million.
Yeah,
he's done well there. He's still in the Brazil squad.
Shut up.
Barcelona are going, you know what?
Paulinho, he's the guy that's going to turn this around.
But don't get wrong. Wow. You know, the Chinese league is already almost in about a year or so. It'll be up to the standard of MLS. Yeah. They've got good players coming in there now.
Well, their whole mandate from their prime minister, president, whatever the correct term is, that they came out with a mandate that sport is their Trojan horse ultimately to forge trade links and to grow their market beyond their borders essentially. So they've invested a hell of a lot in doing things over here and growing their cake because the government underwrit their domestic sports rights, which then gave the clubs the budgets to then go and attack foreign markets to bring players and pay them so much money in order to kind of grow the game, because sport is what they think is the universal language of the world, I guess.
It's almost like a public image thing as well, isn't it? An image, improving the image of China around the world, because the only way you think of China historically was this kind of slightly strange, very huge country that's a threat. That's the kind of the stereotypical viewpoint, and actually it's much more than that.
I thought you were going to say food. I thought you were going that way.
And food. Yeah.
Okay, so that's Chinese people offended.
Yeah, no, I don't.
No, so. I'm joking.
Safe standings on the rise. Finally, first team in one of England's top 4 divisions. Shrewsbury is going ahead with a trial of, actually not going ahead with a trial. It's actually implementing rail seating in the stadium. It's the first one in league football. The law still bans the top 2 divisions from having rail seating in.
Rail seating?
Safe standing is essentially, that's what they look like. They're rails, and the seats flip down and can be locked up and locked down. You know,
that feels more dangerous than just standing with barriers.
I think
no, it's not.
No, it's safe. Very safe. Yeah,
it's safe, but the problem is what you're doing is it all across the entire stadium?
No, it's just 2,900 seats, I think.
So is that by choice? So I can go standing if I want to?
Yeah. Well, in their ground you would be able to, because Shrewsbury don't sell out.
You would obviously choose whether you want to sit or stand.
Right, okay.
The comparable thing is in Celtic, in terms, they've had theirs for, I think, 1 season, 2 seasons maybe. And that's where their ultras sit, and that's where the noise is generated.
But it's the same in Italy, especially like even San Siro. They've got it around the rim of the stadium, where they've got a few rows of not rail seating, but where standing only.
Well, you look at Germany. You look at the Westfalen Stadium in Dortmund. They've got that end all rail seating.
You should do like a little doc on it where you go to Celtic, to Shrewsbury, to Gay Meadow, and a few other places. Yeah,
all right, I'm down with that. That sounds like a great idea.
Flav's going to go and he's going to do a little documentary on it. And
great idea, sorted. That's what I'm doing next week. The route. So I think it's an impressive thing. I think what's really interesting is the chairman said the issue we tend to have is when we come up against the big clubs, the Sheffield United, the Boltons, who bring huge away crowds, we get drowned out a little bit. And this is the chairman acknowledging the fact that atmosphere and fans are important. They're important to the game, and more than it being a political thing and you know, there's the fallout from Hillsborough and all the years that have followed, and it's a very prickly conversation to have. Sorry, go on.
I was just going to say that it's shifting a bit to Hillsborough. Apparently, some people are now facing criminal charges.
Because it's criminality, it's difficult to talk about because it's now a court case. But essentially, that's what's happened. 6 people. I don't know the details enough to go into it, but it's directly linked, and I think it's a positive move in the right direction. And Shrewsbury are the first team to get it done in the Premier League. In the top 4 divisions. They're crowdfunding. They need £70,000 to get it implemented. They're doing that at the moment. West Brom have actually said that they're open to having it trialed in the Premier League.
That's right.
That's not going to happen, though. I don't think.
Well, it will happen eventually.
The
law needs to change.
I know, but I think any time. I think. You know, I know this is kind of off. This is off the cuff of this. You know, there's a lot of talk about a lot of football rules that are changing. I think you guys may have discussed this anyway. In the past, but there's obviously stuff like this, or the 60-minute matches and all these things. And I think football needs to tackle the problems at the core. You know, that this isn't this isn't a problem in football as much as a lot of the other issues in football.
What?
Something like this. And I think
what are the other issues?
Well, the other issues, for example, the diving, for example,
or the on the pitch.
The second referee, the video referees, stuff like that. Those are issues that need to be sorted.
Right, yeah.
Exactly, those are things that need to be sorted very, very soon. But I think the standing situation is preference. So, and I think
but to have that option is important. To a lot of fans going to games, it is important. It's
definitely,
it's subjective.
But if they're going to do that, if they can go through that sort of extreme to fix, they should be going through the extreme to start working out why our ticket prices also still so high across the country.
Yeah.
Because if it's so easy to implement something like safe standing inside it to the Premier League, then rejig the entire pricing format of football clubs' season tickets as well.
I think they'll actually...
and it just seems to be like that. Those are the things that fans really want.
The two things will go hand in hand, because obviously standing in Germany, the standing areas are cheaper than the other areas of the stadium. But this has been a campaign that's been going on for many years, and it needs a change in law at government level in order for it to happen. Currently, so it's still there's still a lot going into it and a long fight. Corruption in Benfica. So this is insane. This is a real life story that's true.
Go on then.
Right,
Adam, could you just get on BBM and confirm that this is actually true?
BBM, mate.
By the way, Birds and That at the end.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to that. you might not know what Birds and That is, but it's the best part of the Long Wall Street podcast. Benfica president Luis Felipe Vieira, loads of charges been brought against him. Around 4, he's fucked basically. But the weirdest thing to come out is that he spent 150,000 euros on witchcraft. He went to a witch doctor and he got them to curse or to bless certain games. And the price of that was, to win a Champions League game, for example, was 100,000 euros.
Love that.
And he went
Love the pricing. What game do you want to win, mate? Like, I don't know what the witch would be called. But
that witch doctor was making money.
Tremelda, how much for a Champions League? What's that, 100 grand? Yeah, 100 grand, mate. Love their pricing structure. Amazing.
So with that in mind, what is the biggest waste of money your club has ever spent? I'm going to throw mine out there and say Paulinho. The worst player I've ever seen in Spurs. Or Tim.
Biggest waste of
money. Biggest waste. It's hard with United.
Andy Booth was. We only had him on loan.
How can you say that?
He played 3 games, but was.
I thought he took the same to you.
All right, I don't mind saying fuck you, man. Probably the best player in Spurs history.
Nah. I mean, he was at the tail end of his career, and we were desperate.
He was an average player, though, wasn't he?
Don't genuinely my heroes.
He was an average player.
He was not an average player. He was amazing. No, he had bad knees. He had bad knees.
Sort of Demba Ba. Jemba.
Jemba done the job.
Yeah. If sitting on the bench and collecting money's a job.
I think the worst player. The worst player. I wouldn't want to say worst player.
Taibbi.
But I would say Taibbi was terrible. I think we went through an era. When we finished bottom of the Champions League group in 2004, I believe that was our worst team in my living. Whilst I've been alive,
yeah.
And that was when we had the likes of Kleberson, Jemba, Park. Obviously, Park is good. It done a job, but I mean, at that time, that was our midfield.
He was,
I think it was Smith, Park, Jemba, Clemberson. Which is not really going to spark too much fear in a team.
I tell you, who can't be far off though. Falcao. I know that you just long, but you spent a lot of money on his
Falcao's a bit
wages. And then what was the other guy?
Diego Forlan you're talking about.
No, oh my God.
Forlan was class.
Forlan, he's such a good footballer.
Yeah, but Falcao is such a good footballer. So is Falcao.
Yeah, but
on Di Maria as well.
But
Di Maria wasn't a waste of money because Di Maria. Firstly, we sold him. First we sold him. But secondly, he wasn't a waste of money because Di Maria, I think, is very similar to Ozil. He turns up sometimes. When he turns up, there's hardly anyone better than him in the world. The problem is, like Ozil, he goes missing a lot of the season, and that's the problem. But if you ask me, I wouldn't mind having Di Maria in our team. If we had Di Maria last season, we'd have scored a lot more goals. That's for sure. But I think
Varane's got to be the worst.
No, he's got a few crucial goals.
He was kind of cool though, wasn't he? Yeah. Like he did have that bit of swagger about him.
He was class before he went to United and Chelsea. He was horrendous.
But basically, there's a hell of a lot of examples of like you can't even find a top 10 for wasting cash at Man United.
Yeah, we waste cash every day.
It's ridiculous.
We waste cash all the time.
Yeah, we don't. But maybe come back and talk to me about that in next year. Because we get a few 10 million, 12 million, with like Tom Ince.
You're throwing money around.
Well, we're not. Listen, rumours.
Listen, everyone is always marked with Tom Ince. Everyone. Yeah. Every year, Tom Ince.
I think he could be argued.
I think Paul Ince is just literally paying for ads on Facebook. Yeah. He's doing Facebook ads for Tom Ince, I'm sure.
In the Championship, what is Tom Ince one of the top performing? Yeah. He's one of the better players.
He's quality. If he'd made the step up that well though.
So he got 15. I think about 15 goals at Derby. Players kind of out wide, but he had also sort of central.
But didn't he have his chance at Hull? He had his chance at Hull, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. I mean, look, the thing is what we do know about football is that it's not just that guy. You don't just put that. It's not FIFA where you buy a guy and he's that fast and his shooting's that good and all his headers going because his header's 95. It's not that. There's a human being that's in an environment. A lot of that's chemical. A lot of that's the philosophy. A guy called Scott Arfield we had at Huddersfield Town, dreadful. I couldn't wait to get rid of him. Went to Burnley and they got promoted. I'm like, all right, okay, he's not going to stay. Still performing well in the Premier League and looking at the guy, you never saw that coming. But it's the system, you know. And what we've got at Huddersfield is we've got a philosophy the first time ever. So someone like Tom Ince, I actually think could, coming off a flank, could really do well in our high pressing, recycling possession out on the pitch, and people in them interchangeable kind of combinations of movement. He could ball out next year if he comes.
Hopefully he does.
But
by the way, our biggest waste of money, I just remembered Memphis Depay. What a waste! What a waste of time.
He's still open. He's on loan.
No, I think
sold.
He's been sold. He's been sold.
He dropped a rap record last
He's never coming back. He's never coming back.
You see the goal he got though? That was a good goal. Yeah, the halfway line thing. I love that. But look, they're my favourite types of goals. Actually,
as I mentioned 15 minutes ago, I can't stand players who are worried more about their Instagram posts and being at awards shows and stuff instead of worrying. When you do that, if you're the best player in the world, if you're Messi and Ronaldo, not if you're not even getting into the team, and when you are, you're blanking. Don't waste time. You know what I mean? It's just
the Dutch league has to be one of the most riskiest leagues to buy.
To buy players.
Yeah. You can get it so right with Van Nistelrooy, Depay, Vincent Janssen.
But Huntelaar was always good enough to play in a better better team than the teams that he played for. But
Mario Kezman was he the guy went to Chelsea and he was disappointing. There has been a whole bunch of them, but I don't know.
All right, so we've got a question from Tom Con 05. He says, "Do you think the role as a fan has changed over the years, and if so, why?" And I wasn't quite sure what he was getting at, so I asked him to explain. He says, "I feel it has. My role in previous years was to stand on the terraces singing my heart out for 90 minutes. Nowadays, there's more involved with being a fan because big stakeholders at the EPL have turned the football fan into the football consumer. I'm not saying it's a good or bad thing, but it's just changed. Nowadays, people just how much of a fan someone is by their knowledge on a team. Compared to growing up, it's all about how many games you have been to. This is shown by Spurs releasing an article on a super fan who's never been to a Premier League game."
Well, we may as well kick out with you because that's about Tottenham. So what do you think?
I mean, Tottenham, it is to some degree. I think what he's getting at is the fact that the club are catering to overseas supporters,
like the fact that you went to Hong Kong straight after the season ended. Which is absolutely ridiculous.
But it's the nature of it's the nature of football now. Football fans have always been consumers. They've always been that. It's just that once football fans were the lifeblood of the football club and they were completely important. The match day going fans, so they were catered for completely by
globalisation.
But the globalisation of the game means the
broadcast rights and the whole model of football has meant that they're actually what's here, which is limited because you can only get so many people in your city, is not worth what you can sell because China's population of 2 billion and America's so.
You made a good point. I mean, the reality is that because the game's changed so much and because of media and internet, etc. The truth is, if you go, let's say we're both Spurs fans, what happened? But let's say that we were. And you went to the game 20, 30 years ago, you could say, well, look, I'm a bigger fan than you because I spend money on the team. but I could spend more money sitting in my armchair. I could pay for pay-per-view. I could buy shirts from Sports Direct.
You could
online.
be ordering mugs.
I could be ordering mugs. So
shot glasses.
So what makes you more
Man United phones?
Exactly.
Tottenham phones.
What makes you more of a fan than me? Just because you go to the games?
It
doesn't mean.
Of course.
And that's what I think. That stigma has now left. Where, like I said, 20 years ago, it was all about how many games you've been to. Now, it's not about that.
But these so time makes. Life makes hypocrites of us all, and actually it's the transition, isn't it? And it's the transition is where how things were versus what becomes okay, and things feel absurd at first, i.e. these foreign fans, and I'm a fan because I go to the games, and actually no, I'm a fan because I really follow fanatically, even though I live in Washington, and it's like Tinder, it's like online dating. I look at Adam now because obviously he's prolific on all these platforms, smashes it to bits every single day. But it's online dating. 15 years ago, when it was, I don't know, Plenty of Fish and Match.com and things like that, online dating, it was a taboo. People wouldn't talk about it. And if people met, they'd be like, fucking, I met her on fucking this dating site. But like, what's wrong with her? What's wrong with you? But now, nowadays, as life's gone on, it's fine. Everyone's proud. Yeah, we got married. We met on Tinder. Adam's coming in the office going, I've got another one. Cha-ching, another one. I'm meeting her at lunchtime for a bunk up. It's changed. Now it's not. It's actually
a hotel room. Yeah, I'm going to do it in the park.
I'm going to do it.
Anyway,
7 out of 10 get in the park.
Anyway.
7 out of 10 gets it in the park.
Anyway.
But that's what it is. So it just moves so fast now that and it's people that are left hanging on. But I think what he's talking about is, it's like, look, Tom, don't worry about what people tell you should be with regards to anything. You be your own guy. And what he's referring to here about this Spurs releasing an article on a superfan, I don't know what that is, but I expect that is some kind of commercial relationship where some brands, it's not Pret, but...
So you don't think they're in the UK?
Some brands, I don't know, but some brands come in going, right, we want to do a competition to award the Spurs superfan, and here's a fucking process that they have to go through, and it feels like a great idea, but it's shit, and it's been around for fucking years, and it's the most patronising thing, and anybody that's a real fan that's been going for years is not the kind of person that would enter something to demonstrate their validity as a fan. Yeah. So whatever this is, we live in a world where there's so many things that are veneers, that are fake. We live in this world where people are sitting on their square block. I just woke up like this, but have spent 2 hours doing this fucking, you know what I mean? Or they said, oh, look, God, I've just got up and look how fucking ripped I am, but they've just been fucking in the gym all day, every day. Yeah. So all these veneers, all these things that make life quite confusing to get to the truth, don't worry about it. Go with what you know. You're a fan of your team, that's good enough for us.
Yep.
Nice, nicely put. I was going to add something, but I'm not going to. No, okay. Put question. Shannon McCregan. She says, do you think for summer transfer windows it should be required to announce all players leaving and coming on the same day, or would that never happen because they, I'm not sure who they are, make too much money selling rumours, messing with people all summer long about who is going where? I mean, there's a lot in that, and I'm not sure who she's blaming and who she's angry at.
I mean, my personal opinion is I don't really. Obviously, I comment on it because it's our jobs ultimately, but I don't really pay much attention to transfer gossip because it's gossip, and I'm old enough. That I've seen it all. I've seen it all. Where even like I said, we were talking about it the other day. I've even seen Gareth Bale bloody do a shirt release with Tottenham, where you think, because the shirt release used to be, if they're in next season's shirt, they're 100% staying. It doesn't mean he still left.
Doesn't mean anything.
It's a killer. The fact of the matter though is, and I think that this is what this, and I can't even find a question, this lady or guy is referring to, is that there's a lot of business models that are based on and predicated on ultimately putting something in your face or in your line of sight that's kind of link baity and that's going to make you go, I want to see what.
No, but I think what there's, I think
what she's through to a destination. That's what it is. So that's why we see all this stuff that's.
But what she might be asking, is do you feel that there's a link between the clubs working with the media to produce this fabricated news?
Of course there isn't, but because there's no. How do the clubs get paid out for that? What's actually
agents
happening?
Might. So I think that it would be within the interest of an agent to say to a mate, put this out there, or even actually for a club to do it. Because if a club stimulates some talk around a player, that actually might make someone else that's desperate jump in and go.
So do you think, for example, Ronaldo thing is all rubbish?
I haven't been following the Ronaldo story because I couldn't give a fuck about what he does, right, to be honest with you.
But you should, because he might be playing against Huddersfield next season.
But that don't bother me. We're still going to win.
Snap him.
Yeah. But no... Okay, so what you're saying is, could rumours and things like that be? Of course it is. Because every time that people put stuff out there, it's links, it's interest. I think definitely. Look, what we actually see as being the interview, the chat, what's put out to us, isn't always the truth. In tactics, managers aren't going out there and going, yeah, do you know what, he's going to play on Saturday. They're going, well, we're not sure, actually he's out. And because, there's mind games. It's like poker. Sometimes it's everything outside the game. So there's a whole bunch of misdirection.
Our idea, though, of having it all on one day. Yeah. Like the draft.
That would be intense.
It'll never happen.
It's so intense.
It'll never happen, though.
No, of course not, it wouldn't. No. But you imagine that day arrives, August 31st, everyone all at once releases all of their business. This is what we've done.
That
nothing
cool.
is. It would.
Do you do the business on the day, or you just release it on the day?
No. You do the business whenever you want. It's just everything's embargoed. The press are not allowed to report on it. And then on the last day, they all step out behind the curtain.
Yeah.
And
Ta-da! They take it in turns.
Players.
They take it in turns, almost like one at a time to announce somebody.
Yeah.
So then people are like, fucking, you know what I mean? They're like, God, we've not seen Harry Kane yet. Is he going to... And then it's just, ta-da, surprise. That
Spurs comes up and... There's no one behind the curtain.
I always thought if I could just make this would never happen, but in a fantasy sense, I would love a neutralisation of the Premier League, where all of a sudden the chairman will just come from nowhere of the Premier League. I don't know if this exists, and just say, right, everyone has now the same amount of money. But I don't mean to spend. I don't mean to spend. I mean everything.
Mate.
So all of a sudden, everyone's neutralised back to the same amount, and then we see what happens.
Creating a level playing field off the pitch would be the most amazing thing. So the NFL, the structure of the NFL is designed to do that. There's salary cap, everyone's shirt sales and rights goes into a pot, and then that's kind of shared equally. There are a few little local partner opportunities that people have, but ultimately, and the way that recruitment works, it's all the same way. Because one of the things that bugs me about the Premier League at the moment is how clubs are able to stockpile talent. People like Man City, they bring over Aaron Moy, they loan him to us, and they've got his rights. He's never going to see a game for us, and they're going to sit here and make money on him. People like Izzy Brown, people like Casey Palmer, there's others as well that are loaned out, and they just sign them as a youth. They loan them out and then they sell them on, and they're never going to get.
I think it's hilarious.
It's like having the right to buy property.
Yeah.
And you
hold on to that.
The smaller clubs can't get onto the ladder, so we're paying rent, we're paying the wages and stuff, but we can't get the asset. They get the asset. We actually, as we pay in the rent, it grows over time, and then they sell it.
And then it's quite simple. You lose whatever. If they're good, they take them back. If they're not good, you keep, and it's like, look what happened with Nathan Ake. Look, I'm not saying he's a great player. I'm not saying he's a bad player, but he's been loaned about, and then now he's getting sold for 20 mil. He's getting sold for 20 mil. The guy hasn't kicked the ball for 6 months.
Is he decent in? Whenever I've not seen much of it, but he looks
he's good. He's good, but all the Chelsea's done, all they've done is that they've somehow farmed 20 million from doing absolutely nothing.
Mate, but
all the other teams have Watford and Bournemouth have made him that value.
Mate, but that's what I'm saying. They're doing this at scale continuously. Man City in particular, Chelsea in particular, probably many more as well.
You see, look at the amount of players that Chelsea have in their books. They know exactly what they're doing. Absolutely.
So I think that there should be limits to the roster, and that you've got. So in the NFL, you can start off with say 90, then you cut it down to 75. By the time the actual season starts, every team's got an active 53-man roster. Everyone else that they've had that they liked, they go on there. They have a practice squad, so they can stay with the club. But if another team comes in and wants them, and they don't have a spot for them, then they go. And I actually think that's fair, because then Chelsea have to choose their best players, and then these other ones can get picked up by Watford, Huddersfield, whatever. And it means that because then Watford have got to do the same, and everyone's got to say, the quality of play is going to trickle down. So more people have got assets, and then if someone's at Huddersfield that goes on to do really well, amazing. We get to sell the asset.
I think things are getting better now with the transfer embargo. People are now big teams now just can't just buy anyone they want without selling players. So I think it's getting better than
some people are getting pulled up, aren't they? They're getting transfer bans to Liverpool as well.
they're all at it though, milking the system. But that was a great question, and I hope I didn't ruin that by not understanding it properly.
So Birds and that returns. questions. Akeem, you completely abstain from this if you want.
What is it?
It's just we talk about Adam's love life. So really? We've got a question. Oh, really? It's not actually for Adam this time. We've got Mark Ellison. He says, long bullshit. He said, in his youth, that's suggesting you're old, Matt.
I am old.
All right. Could Matt Weld outpull Craig and Flav for a decent ladies on a night out? Discuss.
Totty.
And Mark.
Well, didn't you want to use totty in a different
derogatory, isn't it? Derogatory to women. Totty. They're not pieces of meat. They're human beings.
I thought it was because totty is close to Tottenham Hotspur. That's right.
No.
Okay.
I'd go as far as to say I think I could outperform him now. I don't need to be in my youth.
I mean, I could imagine Matt has some ways with the ladies.
Quite prolific back in the day.
Well, yeah. No, no, but it's one of them things, isn't it? Where it's like, it's just something that you're born with. I think it is. It's not necessarily how you look. It's how you conduct yourself. It is something that you're born with. There's some people that are very
God-given gift.
Well, it is. It's something that you're born with.
I think it's about. I think some people. Well, yeah, people are born with unparalleled confidence, and that seems to be what the opposite sex and the same sex sometimes are attracted to.
But I can imagine that Flat, he must be just like fighting them off for you now.
No, not now. Not now. I'm not interested at all. I don't even look at other women now.
Yeah, of course. Well, I don't. But
I mean, everybody does. It's ridiculous. We're human beings. But it's a weird one. It's a weird one. For the first time in my life, right, I've actually got a missus, and not in my life, because I forget that. I'm digging myself a hole here.
Sounds like a sub-story's coming.
Yeah, I have absolute no inclination to do anything like that. To go out and pull birds. Whereas for a long time I did, and I had a lot of fun and a lot of hollowness.
Yeah. There is a lot of hollowness.
Yeah, massive
come with that.
But the answer to the question is no way. I'd have smashed you into the ground.
What about Craig? What do you think he's got in his...
Craigie Danger?
Craigie D.
Craig, so Mark followed that up.
Craig would just keep turning up with them, wouldn't he? He'd be like, "Yeah, come on, love, get this down."
Yeah,
that old chestnut.
Yeah,
he's one of them.
He's one of them. He's Craig.
No, we're not saying he's Predator or anything. But
no. That sounds like sick. Drink that one.
He'd probably send this down for you,
Mark Ellison, that's why I'm not drinking it.
Mark Ellison says, "Is Craig strikes him as a do you come here often kind of guy." Yeah, that's actually.
But none of us. None of us, though, like me and Flav, and I think that we, if we're being honest about it, none of us could hold a candle to the Slayer.
No, not even a match.
No, not even a match to the Slayer.
The Slayer.
Who's
the Slayer of Ealing.
The Slayer of Ealing.
He's Adam.
Yeah.
How is your love life, Ad?
Yeah, it's good at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, going through a good patch.
Okay. So this this girl that the Tinder thing from a little while ago, that's now progressed.
Yeah, seeing her again on Saturday.
Shit, son. You treating her well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a gentleman.
Mate, is it helping that you're talking about her now? So it's kind of like giving her. So your line could be like, I mentioned you. I mentioned you.
There's no way I want her to listen.
He'd be the other way. She'd be like, "What did you do today?" He'd be like, "Nothing.
Nothing.
You look nice, by the way." He will give her nothing about this.
Do you love her?
No, obviously not.
It's only been
wait, hold on. One quick question: when you introducing them to these lot?
Yeah.
Would I?
Yeah.
If you not promise to not mention...
no promise.
You can't promise anything.
Of course we promised that, mate. Not a problem.
Why would I promise that? This is shtick. This is banter.
No, should never meet you. Ever.
I think we should actually have a Ball Street partners event.
Yeah,
whereby people bring in their significant others.
Yeah, definitely. Craig said...
And pets.
Craig, he actually said, "You lot are never meeting my girlfriend."
Thing is, he meant that as well.
Yeah, he did mean
He did
Craigie
mean
Danger.
That.
So we had a follow up to that. Aaron Hayes, he says, "I love Adam."
Hey.
Yeah, and you said, "I love you too, man." How do you know you love him?
Just because he loves me.
But what about...
Is that simple that the whole system works? Anyone who loves you, you love them back.
We got to somehow get to...
I get a lot of love on them bullshit.
Yeah, well, the next one was #Adam Nudes.
Oh.
Yeah?
Well, what?
You're not comfortable with this line?
No, because I never get it's the most random thing. Mainly happens on Snapchat.
Yeah,
you just get people who say, "Send me nudes." I'm just like,
What you mean cheeky sport?
Yeah, I was like, what point do you think
that's going to happen?
Why would you put it?
They probably thought Joel was on and he's been sending a lot out.
I know. I know, exactly.
I mean, you say that, but I've got Snapchat. So
send people nudes.
All you have to do is request it and I'll deliver. Alright?
I'm worried when you admit that you mean these things, by the way.
I do mean it.
Exactly.
Alright, let's move on to top fives.
Yeah.
You haven't been prepped for this. Nearly over, Akeem. Top 5 computer games of all time, and I think...
Okay, cool. Don't worry, I don't need to be prepped for this.
Okay.
So rather than
I already know my top 1.
Pro Evo 5 or FIFA 18, it's just a franchise.
Yeah, cool.
Right? Okay.
Perfect.
No problem.
Number 1.
My number 1.
Yeah.
Of all time, Football Manager.
Oh, the greatest. You're into it.
Yeah. Good
not this exact second, but overall in my life, the greatest game I've ever played.
There was a time when it was accessible. Now it's so difficult.
No, it's because they're trying to make it more realistic, haven't they?
I don't want realistic.
Do you play it?
I haven't played since about 1997, 98.
Okay,
that's 2001, 2002.
That's like Championship Manager days.
2001, 2002. That's all.
So I was going travelling and got garden leave at a company, and then they were closing and down the office, and about 4 of us at work did what was at the time very ahead of its game in that we did a networked Champman season, and it was
incredible.
It was the best 3 months of my life.
Mate, I'll be honest, I've done it once when about 15 years ago, probably about 12 years ago or something, and I'd done it with 4 friends. And it was so funny, that even now and again we still talk about it. Because it was just so funny. A network it's so complicated. It's so unrealistic that everyone can have the same amount of time every day to play.
I know.
Yeah. But my God.
But if you you're after the same guys, but and you're so on it.
But honestly, if I had unlimited time, give me unlimited time. And 3 or 4 other people that had unlimited time as well, I would do it again even now.
That's what you'd propose.
There's nothing better. There's nothing better than playing a network game with Football Manager and throughout a whole season. But it's unrealistic.
So that's on the list.
Can I just another caveat to all of that? Right, is everyone's got that one player that they signed on Championship Manager they remember. Mine was Carlos Valderrama. I bought him to Newcastle. He played in a 3-man midfield. He's got 7 goals in his first season. Didn't really do much after that, but I remember it.
Yeah, I bought a player called David Aganza.
Yeah,
he's pretty good, but not in real life. That's the upsetting part.
There was few. I used to always love a bit of Taribo West. He was a good one. Kennedy Bakachoko.
Those are the cheap players. Yeah, they're the cheap players. Everyone buys them.
Cheap players.
Mark Kerr at Falkirk.
Mate, I remember there was a player who used to play with company.
He was getting about 40k.
Van den Bore as well. I don't know if you heard about that player.
Yes,
I don't remember
Van den Bore.
Alright, so we could get lost in this conference. It's so good. So that's on there. Yeah. Go on, stick one on there because let's put because we're doing the top 5. Let's do one each that's definitely on there, and then we'll discuss the last two.
So Pro Evo, because it reminds me of university. We used to literally sit there and it would decide everything. It would decide where we were going. It would decide who was gonna get hold of this bird.
Did you play Master League on?
Yeah, Master League. But this was.
Wait, hold on. Do you remember any players from Master League?
Yeah,
Eddington,
Miranda,
Hygens.
We used to make backstories about him. So Eddington was this Scottish guy that used to wear a really bad suit,
borderline alcoholic,
dead awkward. But he wasn't alcoholic.
Did he write blogs about it or something?
No, it was just in our heads and in our
Who was the super quick player that was there?
Costello on the right.
No,
Bechet, Belgium. International.
Yeah, good player. And you could when you got some money, it would buy Yanni. The Croatian left back. And he'd go up top, Babangida on the right. And what had happened is Yanni would start up front because he used to smack him in. And then he'd eventually go back to left back over the years. But did you ever get Roberto Carlos and play him up top?
Yes.
Because
did he play him up top?
Always. It's a cheat.
It was ridiculous.
Why was it a cheat?
Because the game didn't penalise you for the fact that he was a left back. So like in FIFA now, if you move him on top, he's rated. In this, he was still 92. 92 pace, everything. You play him up.
You just go like.
It's so weird that we've had all the same experiences. Played. Does this make any sense to you at all, Adam?
No. Can we bring one in and actually do a Master League season?
But bloody Matt up north has got Paul. Paul up north has got all of them, hasn't he?
Let's take a week off and go up there. When I've got my move to China,
count me in when
I'm not spending a week in Liverpool.
I'm going to put one on there. Can I put one on there?
Yes.
Call of Duty.
But listen, I'll be honest. I only played Call of Duty Modern Warfare, the first one, back when you probably can't remember Shipment. the level Shipment, Vacant. That's the only one I watched.
I think
Shipment was a really tiny. It's a tiny field.
I never played Call of Duty.
Anyway, I only played the first one.
So this is what we're talking about. Between what year is that?
The very first Modern Warfare.
I know, but what year? Because I don't remember.
Probably about 7 years ago, 8 years ago.
One where you could play networked online.
The first, you could play networked online.
I think I used to play that.
It's the first one that had perks like Dawn.
I played that one, and so at TalkSport we had a lot of people that were on PlayStations, and we went on at mass. So we had a pool of about 16 players. So we sometimes used to have teams against each other. Yeah. But you'd always be able to go on and get a party of about 6 of you, headsets and everything. Yeah. It was amazing.
Why don't we do that now?
Yeah, because I'm too busy now. I run the business.
That's the thing. Time is the problem, isn't it? Mate, if you had time, you just played games after.
Call of Duty, and I remember like girlfriend at the time would just be like, come to bed, and you'd just be like, fuck it. You'd just sit here, I've got one more game. You'd be there 2 hours later.
When you're playing online, though, you'd get people who just took it too seriously. Started shouting at you down the screen.
Have you ever punched a TV?
No. I never punched anything. I'm too.
Oh man, I've smashed mouses, everything.
Not little creatures. So we got 3. Let's do the last 2 quick. Mario Kart. So I'm going to propose
Mario Kart. I was going to say that.
100%. What's the best multiplayer game?
I would say. Got to put a fighting game in there, surely.
In fact, you tell us what the game is that we're missing in here before. We answered FIFA, so it'll probably be that, but yeah.
Probably FIFA, but try and be creative.
Yeah, no FIFA. Don't include FIFA then. Just put FIFA/Pro Evo as the other choice.
Right. Yeah. Akeem, mate, thank you so much for coming down.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, it's great seeing you.
Thanks for drinking a little bit of all your drinks.
Cheers.
I know, I've only had one of them.
Oh, what we didn't mention.
Oh, shit.
Fan League. CheekySport.
How can we forget?
You're in.
Yeah, we're in.
Yeah, you are.
I know, we're taking a bit of stick because we done a video review last week when you called us out. Yeah. And we pretty much said, well, we took a bit of stick from from some of the other challengers, Full-Time Devils, Arsenal Fan TV, because we told them that we're coming and taking the trophy.
What they got
they said we're not friends. We're not friends. But look. The way we see it is we're coming to win.
To represent.
That's what we're coming to represent. But you know what? I'm not going to talk too much up because we might get spanked at the first game. And that's why everyone comes.
Some of them taking it seriously.
I know.
Putting in proper work.
No.
Full-Time Devils have got an actual pro footballer playing.
Who?
Current pro. He plays for Sutton United.
That might be against the rules. That might be against the rules.
There aren't any rules.
Yeah.
I mean, there are rules. Don't come up with blades and
that. Have you put it in your contract?
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
No.
But no, they've got a Sutton FC player.
Right, okay.
Previously
He's played for like Preston, Aberdeen.
Brighton.
Oh, yeah, you've done your research, haven't you?
We were looking at him. He's got YouTube videos.
He's got a highlight reel. I can't remember.
Where does he play?
He's wide.
Pacey winger.
Yeah, he's pace. He's got pace. But we have got Chris Pajak. Actually, he can't play either. But anyway, it's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah. There's a lot of competition. I reckon there's going to be fireworks.
I'm worried about our abilities, but we actually need a couple of players. So if you get this, you've got a limited amount of time to now get in for the trial. People here, please come and help us. We're a family. If anyone can play here, or you've got a mate that's particularly good, there's a link that will be in this video or on Ball Street. You'll see it. Click that. Put in your name. We need a couple of quality players. The trial's happening very soon, so you've literally got to do it now.
Yes.
So do it now. Yeah. Tell your mates, tag a mate, WhatsApp them, BBM them, tell them that they need to help and get in this tournament because
what you need to do
against Akeem and everyone.
There's going to be a link in the description below. It's for register for Fan League. You do that and we'll send you the information on where the trial takes place.
So you register with them, that's how we get the data. We get in touch, we have a little trial, you come along, you'll be playing in this thing. You can kick Akeem if you don't like his lyrics about Tottenham.
You can kick me. You can have a go.
No, don't.
If you can catch him.
You can have a go, mate.
No one can.
You can have a go, mate.
You can have a go.
See what happens.
And we're going to do some stuff on Matt World now, talking a bit more business stuff with Akeem, about how he got started and some of that stuff. So Adam will put the link in there. Click over there and we'll see you on the other side. Thank you.
What?
On the other side.
Oh yeah, people don't like the other
side. You see Matt World at the far post, not...
Oh, right, okay. We'll see you at the far post. Is that now the far post?
Yeah, why not?
No, I said on the other side, but yeah, see you at the far post.
The other side sounds like someone passed away or something.
Yeah. No,
that's not the right mental.
But you know, my missus says that for everything, and I always stop her because she always says, when you come into the other side, you go like just
that's
don't say other side. Yeah. But you're like me then. As soon as someone says other side, you're like, whoa, don't say other side.
That's what
I apologise to everyone.
You should know this,
particularly to you.
I'm saying you.
You should know this. Association and all that. You know, Matt World, you're building this. And it's great. I love the content you're doing, and then you're just associating death with it for no reason. I'm gone. I'm out.
He does not. That's it.
On that bombshell, see you at the far post.